Hello everybody, this is Funny Bunny of Doom, and I'm going to be showing you some basics of how to play Vintage Story. So the first thing that you will notice when you start the game is that we have 3 gauges at the bottom here. We have our food meter. If that reaches 0, you'll start to starve to death and it will deal damage to you, and that will make it difficult to see and you will wobble a little bit. You have health over here. If that reaches 0, you will die and you will respawn at the spawn point. You can find temporal gears to set your spawn point at your home. And then this here is your temporal stability. This is, you want this to be as close to 100% as possible. As it drains, when it drains to 0, it will kill you. So you need to make sure that you go to a high point. If it starts to get too low, it will drain in temporal storms and in caves. The other thing that you will notice when you first start is that you have no inventory. If you hit the E button to bring up your crafting and inventory, you will see that you have a crafting slot which consists of 9 squares and an output, but you have no actual inventory. You do have a bar at the bottom and an offhand slot here. You can put torches in the offhand slot, and you put inventory expansion items in these basket slots. One of the first things that you're going to need to do is to make hand baskets, but in order to do that, you're going to need tools. So there are food sources that you can find that do not require tools. Bushes and berries you can pick with the right mouse button, and once you've picked them, you can break them with the left mouse button. You can take them with you and you can place them at your base. They will flower in 4 days, and then after they've flowered, they will produce berries, and the berries will ripen. Another food that you can get without a knife is field mushrooms. You can break them and get the mushroom, but you cannot leave the roots intact unless you have a knife. So we want to leave these, if you can, until you get the knife. Your first weapon is going to be your rock. The rock is going to be your first tool, your first weapon, and you're going to do everything with the rock. There's all sorts of different kinds of rocks. There's some over there, it looks like basalt, and there's some obsidian, which are harder, last longer, better durability, but granite is what we have right here, so granite is what we will use. Boulders contain more rocks, so we'll break the boulders and get ourselves a good supply of rocks. We can use these rocks as a weapon in a pinch. If we need to throw them at an enemy or at an animal to get some food, we hold our right button and then we toss. If you're moving or if you wait too long, your box will get larger and you will not be as accurate. See? Terrible aim. However, if you stand still and shoot quickly, your aim will be fairly accurate. Okay, now we're going to make ourselves some tools. So let's make a knife so that we can harvest the things that we need. We'll click on knife. And now we need to nap it. You need a hard stone in your hand, and you hit the little blocks with your hard stone. If you're doing a large napping pattern, you don't have to break every single chunk. You can break off sections and the whole section will break off. It's not necessary to break every single block like that. Okay, now I have 2 knife blades. Let's make ourselves a knife. I already gathered these sticks. Let me show you where to gather sticks from. We have birch branchy leaves. You break the birch branchy leaves, or you can find some branches laying on the ground next to trees, and they will look like that on the ground. Okay, now we have some branches. Open up our crafting inventory. You can use H to bring up the item that you are pointing to see how to craft it, or you can hit H button and search for it. And it will tell you how to make it. Knife, stick, that will get us a knife. Boom. And we're going to want an axe. Axe is important because we need to get trees, some wood. We need the wood for firewood so that we can cook our food. And we need to make charcoal so that we can start smelting, casting. We'll make our granite axe. Boom. Now we have a knife and we have an axe. We can now harvest the reeds. And we can dig up the roots and cook the roots on the fire. But we need a fire. So we will put some grass. Get our mushroom for food, and then they will grow back later. Cut some grass, and then cut down a tree. The easiest block to make to protect yourself at night is the hay block. It's 6 dry grass, gets you hay. I don't have anything that I want to throw out, so let me eat some mushrooms. So I have a hay block. Let's find a tree to cut down. There's one. Cut down the tree. Can make a little house out of the hay blocks. They'll protect you for your first night. They're not the best. They break very easily. They especially suck because you'll easily break a hole in them. So only use them for an emergency. Okay, so now we have some logs. Now we're going to turn them into firewood by putting our axe above the logs. Boom. Now we have some chopped firewood. Now we're going to make a fire. We'll shift right click and we'll place down our grass, and that is going to make a fire pit in construction. Now we're going to do the same thing with some logs. Open up the inventory. We'll add the rest of our firewood here so that we can keep it lit. And now we're going to cook our cattail roots. Now we need a fire starter, so let's get our knife, cut some grass, and we're going to need to put our grass in the corner with 2 sticks. If you don't know the recipe, you can hit H and search for fire starter. Now we're going to shift and right click and start the fire. If it's raining, you need to cover the fire, so make sure to put it under a tree or something your first night, or build a small construct of dirt over top. Okay, so now we have cooked food. We have cooking food. The food needs to reach its full temperature, and then it will be completed. This is finished. While you're waiting for food to cook, you can make your other tools. A spear is one of the first things that you want because this is going to protect you from the drifters at night, and is also going to make it easier for you to get food. I like to make multiple spears so that you do not have to chase after the animal. Let's make 3 spears to increase our chances. The shovel is not as important, so we're not going to rush to make the shovel. And a hoe is important, but we don't have any good soil right now, so I'm not going to stress about the hoe. I'm not that concerned about that knife. We can make another one or come back for it later. That will stay there about 10 minutes without despawning. Alright, get our cooked cattail roots and take the firewood out. There we go, that way we'll conserve firewood. That'll be here when we get back. And let's go find an animal. So now we need to find an animal to kill. We'll skin it, bring it back home, make ourselves a little hut, a bed, and that will be our first day Looks like that's going to be some prime hunting ground over there. So let's scout it out. See any bunnies or chickens anywhere? I see berries. There's a rabbit right there. Almost. Oh! Got it. Got it. Oh, it's still alive. Wow. One more time. Got it. There we go. Now it's dead. Alright, it's getting dark, so we'll have to... Oh, nope, that's just the rain, but... That means in order to cook our rabbit, we are going to have to... Well, let's eat that. Okay, make some room for the rabbit. The food is perishable as well. We have, this is fresh for 1.8 days. So we need to make sure that we eat it before that time elapses. It can be difficult if you didn't set a waypoint to find your home point, so make sure to always leave yourself a little light or something to help you find it. Looks like the rain stopped, so let's put our firewood back on. Started right up. Usually you'll have to relight it. Cook our meat. Dig enough dirt that we can make ourselves a little dirt wall, and then we'll use 3 of those hay blocks for our bed. It's you, and you. bed, put that down quick. Need 3 more blocks. Not very long. I want roof as well. And now we can sleep. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys survive your first night as well.